This episode is brought to you by the members of the You Run Podcast Network. All of their shows and our own can be found at yourunpodcast.com, along with links to our socials and to our shop. So please head over to yourunpodcast.com today and find your next podcast experience. We are the home of entertainment.
Michael Myers is not a soundbite, a spinoff, tie-in, some kind of celebrity scandal. Michael Myers is a killer shark, baggy-ass overalls. He gets his kicks off of killing everything and everyone that he comes across.
Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes he tells sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled.
Let's go! Cause I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away, but I know that I don't and I won't ever stop, cause you know I gotta win every day.
Hello. Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
My name is Mark.
And we are an interactive horror movie review show run and controlled by all of our listeners and everyone on our social media. Each week you pick the movies in our Instagram polls and we then review those for your entertainment, adding in lots of interactive features and games. You can find us at You Run Podcast everywhere, and everything I just said is completely irrelevant this week. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. On our website, you can go there as well. It's yourunpodcast.com. We have links to all of our social, to our true crime show, to all of the members of the You Run Podcast Network and our shop. And don't forget, if you're on Instagram, give Mark a follow. He's at VHS from the Crypt and at Reviews from the Crypt as well. If you've never listened before, you've picked a very interesting episode to join us for. We're breaking our usual format completely, and instead we're going to bicker and name call for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh,
About
yes.
right? Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
We're going to fall out today, I'm sure. On this show, we normally give you a synopsis of the movie, followed by more in-depth thoughts and a full rundown, but we're not doing that today. We do, however, have some things that are in every episode. So we've got some facts, we've got some calls from listeners, we've got some interactive features, and I didn't make a game. Fuck, we haven't got a game. Anyway. Oh, well, we shall move on.
This week you could have picked a really cool game to play as well.
I could have, but never mind. Today we're kicking off 90 slasher month with two movies, one of which does not belong in this category. However, the 90s were a magical time in horror with lots of innovation, change, and introduction of new characters and new films in this genre. The entire month we celebrate the best and the worst that the 90s had to offer, and I can't wait to get into this month. Before we kick off, make sure you rate and review us. You can do that on Apple and Spotify, and hit subscribe on YouTube. Anyway, this week's is a special episode. It is a head-to-head episode. This is nothing new. We've done it before. We've done it all the way back in August of 2022, where we put the Halloween franchise against the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And Mark walked away with a win with Team Halloween.
Usually.
We then went head-to-head again in July of 2023, where we put Jaws versus Deep Blue Sea. And Mark got royally spanked, and I walked away with a win.
I don't think that was deserved, though, I'll be honest with you.
Well, whether you do or not, it is officially 1-1. So not only is this a head-to-head for this episode, but this is a head-to-head that will essentially decide the winner of the best of three series we've created.
Yes.
I'm
I'm feeling pretty confident about that then this week.
Do you know, I think you are, but I think you're also feeling a little bit of doubt creeping because there's been a lot of support for me rising on social media.
Not just for you, people have actually gone out their way to message me and tell me that I need good luck tonight. And I'm like, What? Are you serious? Like, I'm really shocked by the response that people have been giving me over the past sort of week or two about this episode. Like, I
Yeah,
was expecting a landslide victory. This wasn't even any sort of competition to me in my eyes. But the messages
yeah,
I've been getting have actually got me a little bit concerned, really. I didn't realize
yeah.
the support was as big as it is for your side of the
I,
story.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than you think it is and that everyone else thinks it is, if I'm being honest. Today, we are putting, of course, Mark's beloved Halloween 4 and my beloved Halloween Resurrection head to head. Mark is Team H4. I am Team Buster Rhymes.
Click, 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 click.
You brought the VHS. How sweet.
I didn't come unhanded for you, though. I brought them both. Head to head.
Oh, well done. We're going to be putting 5 categories up that we are going to debate and discuss and evidently argue. There is 50 points for each category, and those 50 points go exclusively to one person. So if we don't agree and we can't find a middle ground where we get actually you win that one, no one gets any points. And if we do that, it falls solely in the hands of the listeners who we know what movies they pick. Do you want to leave it in their hands, or are we going to find some middle ground?
I don't. I voted on a few of these polls myself, and I was really surprised at which direction they were going in.
Yeah. The categories are, if you're interested, the quality of story, originality, the kills contained within the movie, characters, and effect on the franchise as a whole. Later in the show, we've got loads of involvement from other people. And yeah, whoever gets the most points wins.
Yay.
It's as simple as that. I do want to address the elephant in the room, the fact that Halloween 4 was released in 1988. In my opinion, it should disqualify it, but I'm not going to take an instant win because that makes this episode boring.
Can you imagine if you did?
you're DQ'd. I win. Thanks very much for listening. We'll catch you all next week. So I'm going to let it slide. However, what I am going to do is for the 2 years that it didn't fit in the 90s, I am going to take 10 points for myself. So I'm going to start this with a 20-point head start because you picked a movie that doesn't fit the theme of the month.
That's not fair.
Well,
on a scale from 1 to 10, my friend, you're fucked.
Right, I tell you what, fuck you. I don't care. Have you 20 points? I don't need them.
Okay. You sure? You happy with that?
Positive.
I'm going to take a 20-point lead. In defense of Halloween 4, it does fit a lot of the 90s tropes that kind of allow it to slip into this. But yeah, you get penalized for a movie that doesn't fit into our theme for the month.
Man, this is the NWA of 90s slasher movies. This birthed the genre, man. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I'll let you have that. Anyway, let's do category 1. Category 1 is overall effect on the franchise. And I'm going to let you kick this off with you pitch to me the effect that Halloween 4 had on Halloween as a whole.
Right. So I feel personally that Halloween 4's effect on the franchise was a necessary one. They tried to move in a different direction with Halloween 3, which failed drastically with audiences. And they needed to bring Halloween, Michael Myers, back to life, which they did so with Halloween 4. Not only did they do that, but they completely changed the idea of the movie. And instead of bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis and your standard final girl for the slashers that was sort of come to love and know, they brought in a child, which is a very, very unique angle, in my opinion, to have such a young actress portray the sort of protagonist of the movie, and have such a brooding serial killer such as Michael Myers be hunting her down and chasing her around Haddonfield. Yeah, I think that's a strong enough argument in order to push that in my direction. I think that whole perspective is unique enough to not require much more backup than that.
Okay, but I will agree that Halloween 4 does add exactly what you said it does to the franchise. There's no question about it. But the effect that Halloween Resurrection had is bigger and wider than any other film in this franchise apart from Halloween 1978.
I disagree. I think H2O did a much better job.
Yeah, Halloween Resurrection not only threw out all of the previous notions of Michael Myers and how he behaved, it also received a lot of critical backlash for doing that. But what it done is it ground the franchise to a halt, a complete pause for 5 years. In fact, they done so much change to Halloween that it was binned off and they didn't continue the timeline. This killed the Halloween timeline and the Halloween franchise in such a way that the only way it come back was by getting Rob Zombie to reboot it in 2007, doing a remake of the
Right.
original.
Okay. I see what you're doing here. You're using these movies' flaws and negatives to win your argument. Yes, this absolutely sank a franchise. It killed it off. It killed off any sort of hope of a sequel because it was that bad. And you're using that as a through point to get your win here. And I don't think that's a very fair argument.
It may not be a fair argument. I never ever said I was going to play fair today. Not a chance.
Oh man, that's hard. That's hard because yeah, fucking hell. In terms of impact, wow, Halloween Resurrection certainly made its mark.
It did.
And the
So
thing is, as well, as much as it annoys me that you're right in this, I have to agree with you. It certainly was the most impactful, but for all of the wrong reasons. I thought you were actually going to come with some compelling argument where I'd be like, oh, actually, maybe you are right. That was a really good side to that movie. No, you've just come straight in with, yeah, this is the worst, and it killed the franchise. Mic drop.
no, I've come in with Halloween fans don't like change.
I don't
Mic
think it's
drop.
necessarily we don't like change. We just don't like disasters such as this.
Well, you say that, but Halloween 3, Halloween Resurrection, and Halloween Ends, the only three films that broke the mold, and every single one of them is despised by the vast majority of the Halloween contingent.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, at the time, Halloween 3 certainly falls under that category. Halloween Kills, I think, is widely loved and appreciated. It's a middle movie in a trilogy.
So sorry,
and
I meant
think it does
Halloween
a good job.
Ends. I meant Halloween
Yeah,
Ends.
oh,
Sorry.
Halloween Ends, even Halloween Ends. I mean, I love that movie for all the wrong reasons, but if you have to take it from what it is, I don't think people were disappointed with the change of direction. I think the people were disappointed with the overall conclusion, what was set up to be a trilogy endpoint, and it wasn't. It just started an entire different story in the closing act of a 90-minute movie that people were like, why are you doing this now?
So what we're saying is round one on effect on the franchise, that is a clear and categoric win and 50 points for me.
Well, yeah, but like you don't.
Well,
Yeah. Right. All right.
But
Fine. Take it. I don't care. Take it. Have your points.
That's all that matters. It's all about the points. And at the moment, I am winning, which I knew was going to happen. It is going to be a landslide in my favour. Let's go on to point number 2. And this is category 2 is originality. And I'm going to take this first. So this movie is the most original since Halloween. It no longer relies on the tired tropes of legacy characters, and they go one step further and commit the cardinal sin of all horror movies. They take the beloved final girl and throw her from a roof to her death in the opening scene of the movie. From here, they go down the route of introducing the haunted house element and basically like a script where people compete to be on a game show, to spend a night in the Myers house, and it's a found footage element to the movie. It brings in new characters like the incredible Freddie Harris, played by the one and only Buster Rhymes.
Let's go! I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I got it.
I feel like I'm gonna have some sort of fucking seizure in a minute. Seriously.
It adds new depth to Michael, showing that he's not just a mindless killing machine, and he can actually hold his temper to bide his time for a better time to kill, even when he has one of the best rappers of the 90s screaming in his face. This
There is no
movie,
way you can use that scene as a positive for any situation. That is the worst thing to happen to cinema in general.
this movie is original beyond anything else in the Halloween franchise. Thank you very much.
It's not original beyond any doubt. It's a bandwagon movie. It jumped on all of the tropes of the era that it was released. The found footage element. It's just all shite. Introducing rappers into their mix and having them act within their movie because they're drawing audiences. Again, not
Coming
original.
from the man who
Cliche.
loves Deep Blue Sea. Fuck off.
Hey, LL Cool J is not a rapper. He's an actor first, I'll have you know.
Oh, is he really? Okay.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think
No,
he is.
he's really not.
Right, okay, you've had your bit. I'll let you have that. So this puts me in an awkward position, really, because I don't think Halloween 4 has much to offer in terms of originality within the franchise, apart from the things that I've already mentioned in the first round with the introduction of a child being sort of the lead protagonist. Everything else kind of falls under standard tropes of slasher movies. It doesn't break the mold. It doesn't do anything unique in that sense. And I'd be hard pushed to find any elements of it that do. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I love the movie for what it is. You know, it took it. The whole purpose of Halloween 4 is to bring it back to the original in order to bring audiences back after the travesty that was Halloween 3 at the time. I like Halloween 3 now. I don't want to make that perfectly clear to everybody listening. So you've kind of got me with this, and I feel like you're setting these rounds up perfectly to suit your narrative, which isn't fair.
Well, tough shit. What are you going to do about it? There's nothing
Do
you
you know
can
what?
do.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I've had enough of this shit. Play your Broken Spirit music. I told you I'd get you when the time was right, and now I'm sitting in wait. You're annoying me already, and I've had enough. Play Broken Spirit. It's time to play, bitch.
Fuck's sake. Really? Now?
Really, right now. I've had enough of your arrogance. It's time to play my game.
Oh, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to win the show, and I'm going to break Broken Spirit. Fuck you.
You ain't doing it.
Broken Spirit 2.0, making tears of people flow. No lifelines, no one helps. These questions will make you yelp. Broken Spirit 2.0, making tears of people flow. No lifelines, no one helps. These questions will make you yelp. Broken Spirit, Broken Spirit, Broken Spirit, Broken Spirit.
So my plan was always to get you with Broken Spirit on this episode, but my plan was to defeat you massively with this landslide victory I was expecting, and then just break you even further by giving you a quiz at the end of it. But you're just pissing me off, man. You're doing my head in, and I feel like you need reining in a bit. So I'm pulling out my wild card early.
Oh, do you know? I had a feeling you would do it, so much so that I put sound bites in for if I take the points or if I lose. So I'll play those now. This
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
And if I decide to take my points and stroll away...
It's a true man to walk away from a fight.
There was something in the pit of my stomach that told me, like, it's going to happen. I can feel it. And I'll be honest, I thought the same as you. I was like, at the end of this, like, I'm going to have beaten him. He's going to be bitter. He's going to be twisted. He's going to be like, do you know what? Broken Spirit. And he's going to be all smug. And yeah,
That was my plan. That was my overall plan. But to be fair, there is some incredible movie. I always knew I was going to do it in 90 slashers month because there's some great movies. And I was like, yeah, one of those I'm going to really just fucking wipe him out with. But it's a Halloween episode. So as you know, we're sticking with tradition. Each Broken Spirit is based on a particular thing, and you're not just getting a variety of questions. Let me see if you can guess what this week's Broken Spirit is going to be based on.
Is it Halloween 4?
I was going to do Halloween 4, but I just kept it a little bit more vague. So this is just a Michael Myers based quiz. Okay? So we're not focusing on one particular movie, we're focusing on the character in general throughout the Halloween franchise.
You had the opportunity to make a point to try and embarrass me. You could have themed it all around resurrection and really tested my knowledge.
I could have done, but then that would mean I'd have to watch that movie more times than I wanted to in order to get some decent questions prepared for it. And I
Okay.
wasn't willing to commit to that.
Fair enough.
Right, are you strapped in? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready. I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Obviously, as you know, the rules of Broken Spirits, there is 10 questions, 10 points for every question you answer correctly. If you guess a question incorrectly, you will lose all of your points. You can walk away at any point and take the points you have garnered so far. Currently, in the top of the lead is
Greg from You Gonna Eat That
Are
Crust
You Gonna Eat That
podcast.
Crust?
Yeah.
With 50 points. So you need to get 5 questions right in order to take joint first with Greg, or 6 questions to get in the lead. These obviously start off on a lower end and then increase in difficulty as we go along. So you ready for question number 1?
Or I could be petty as fuck, get 1 correct, walk away, and just know that I'm higher than you on the leaderboard, just to wind it into you.
Did I get them all wrong? How far did it? No, I got quite far, did I?
Yeah, you got to 8 and then got 1 wrong because you refused to walk away.
I'm here. I'm dedicated to the cause. You know what I mean? It's win or lose. That's the way I see it. Let's see what kind of man you are, Scott. Question number 1. What is Michael Myers' favorite holiday season?
Halloween.
That is correct. Well done. 10 points. As I said, these start off very easy.
Could you imagine if that was like a massive curveball? He actually really liked Easter.
Yeah. He's just there writing letters to Father Christmas in October. Question number 2. What is Michael Myers' preferred weapon of choice?
It is a butcher's knife.
Yeah, I'll take that. Kitchen knife, butcher's knife, either way, they're the same thing. That's right, 20 points. So question number 3. How many Michael Myers Halloween movies are there? Again, these increase in difficulty as we go.
Michael Myers Halloween movies, does that mean he has appeared in the movie or he is the plot character of the movie?
He is in the movie. I'm not going to try and trick you with Halloween Season of the Witch where he's on the TV in the bar.
Right, okay, that's what
I wouldn't do that this early. If this was question 10, that would probably be the loophole I would have thrown in there, but I'm not going to do that to you this early on.
Right, okay, so what is there? There's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. H2O, Resurrection, Rob Zombie 1, Rob Zombie 2, 2018, Kills and Ends.
You lost count now, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. I was counting on my hand.
There's not enough fingers on your hand to be able to keep track.
So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. H2O, Resurrection. That's 7. Rob Zombie 1, Rob Zombie 2. That's 9. 12.
Final answer?
It's either 12 or 13, and I don't know what to do.
Well, you've just counted them out. You've just counted them out.
I'm going to say 12.
12 is the correct answer. There are a total of 13 Halloween movies altogether, but 12 is the right answer.
I was getting really twitchy for a minute then.
I knew you would if I made you second guess the answer.
Yeah.
Right, you've got 30 points. Question number 4. Where does Michael Myers acquire his iconic white mask from in the original 1978 movie?
Oh. I've gone blank. Where does he get his mask from in the first one? He got it from
the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he gets it from a fancy dress shop in Halloween 4.
Yes.
Halloween 2, he's wearing the mask that he had in Halloween 1.
In Halloween 1, there's an event that takes place at the beginning of the movie. Somewhere gets robbed. Is all I'm going to tell you.
So what am I on now? 30 points?
30 points, yes.
And that ties me with Jim.
Yes.
On 30 points.
It's not a fancy dress shop, is what I'll say.
No.
You can't go out this early on question number 4. Surely to God.
Do you know what? I'm going to be petty as fuck and take a win.
It's a true man. Walk away from a fight.
I can't believe you found out this early on the quiz. I thought that was a fairly easy question because I know you like the original.
I do, but I haven't watched it since you and me reviewed it way back when in 2020.
Are you curious to see how far you would have got? Would you like to play the rest of the game? Because I'm not going to recycle this anywhere else now.
Yeah, let's play the rest. So I've got 30 points. I'm on the leaderboard with Jim. What was the answer to that? Because I want to say a gas station.
No, it's a hardware store. At the beginning, it gets robbed, and Laurie and Annie are driving up smoking the joint, and Sheriff Brackett winds down the window, but the alarm's going off. That's where he got the mask from. So I would have taken hardware store, but the answer is Nichols Hardware Store. So question number 5. What is the name of the sanitarium that Michael Myers is held in before his ultimate escape?
Smith's Grove.
That is correct. You would have gained an extra 10 points, putting you on 40 points. Question number 6. How old was Michael Myers when he first killed his sister in 1963?
9.
No, you would have got that wrong. The answer is 6 years old.
Oh.
Question number 7. 6 years old. Question number 7. What is Michael Myers' middle name?
Audrey.
That is correct. I didn't think you would have got that one. Question number 8. How many people has Michael Myers killed over the course of the 12 Halloween movies? And I would have obviously, with this, I would have taken a close proximity.
Yeah, I'm going to go 78.
Oh, fucking hell, dude. You'd have been well out. He's like the highest grossing. He's the highest body count killer. If you exclude people like Pinhead, who's got like thousands because of certain movies within that thing, it's 198 across all 12 movies. Would you like to know how many is in each movie, or am I just going to burn through that too quickly?
Yeah, no, I don't want to know how many is in 198. Oh yeah, because he has a massive rampage and kills and takes out about 30.
Yeah, but he does. The movie with the biggest body count is actually Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007. That's got 39 in it alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Halloween Kills has only got 30. Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 is 39. That's the biggest body count across the franchise. Question number 9. How many actors have portrayed the masked character of Michael Myers? So that is people who have donned the mask, not necessarily children flashbacks.
6.
No, the total is 9. So in Halloween 1, you've got Nick Castle, and then you've also got Tony Moran, who plays the unmasked version of Michael Myers when Laurie pulls his mask off. You've got Dick Warlock in part 2. You've got George Wilburn in part 4. You've got Don Shanks in part 5. George Wilburn from part 2 then comes. George Wilburn from part 4 then comes back to play it again in part 6. Chris Durand in H2O. You've got Brad Laurie in Resurrection. Then you've got Tyler Mane in Rob Zombie's Halloween movies and James Jude Courtney in Halloween trilogy Gordon Green.
The best two Myers right at the end.
So I'm not going to even argue with that, apart from Nick Castle, who plays the character perfectly in the first one. But I do think Tyler Mane and James Jude Courtney are unparalleled to all the rest.
Tyler Mane is the scariest Myers by a country mile.
I think he is the best, in my opinion. In terms of what he did with that movie, I thought he was fucking fantastic. Right, the final question. How many timelines are there in the Halloween franchise?
Oh, 1, 2. So timeline 1 is Halloween 1, Halloween 2. Then you've got the timeline with just Halloween 3. Then you've got the Gordon Green timeline. You've got the Rob Zombie timeline. 5.
5 is correct, but you kind of got it a bit wrong. So you've got Halloween. You've got the original continuity, which is Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Then you've got Halloween 3, and then you've got the Dimensions film continuity, which is Halloween 1, 2, Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection. Then you've got the remake Rob Zombie continuity, and then you've got the Blumhouse continuity, which is Halloween 1, the original, and then Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. You got there, just the wrong way around it.
Yeah, I'm happy with that, and I got a win. I took away points from this, and I am now higher on the leaderboard than you. And
for now,
until I deem it's ready for you to do Broken Spirit again. But yeah, as it currently stands, I've beaten you once on this episode.
That's why you've done that, isn't it?
Yeah, 100% it
This was
is.
supposed to be my win because you were annoying me and you just turned it on me again. That's not fair.
So far I've turned 2 categories on you, and I've won both of those, and I turned your own revenge back on you, and I've won that as well. This is coming up all Scott.
I'm right. I need to compose for a minute because I feel like I'm letting the emotions get the better of me in this game and this episode.
I always knew your rage would inevitably lead to your downfall.
Right. I need to just switch off from your noise and play the game properly. Right. Give me category number 3, please.
Okay.
Buster, straight buster.
Category 3 is characters, and I'm going to let you kick this off first. You can sell the characters of Halloween 4 to me however you see fit.
Perfect. Right. So, although the character of Michael Myers is probably the weakest character in the movie, not necessarily because of his acting and his performance, but because of the way that he was dressed. His mask is probably one of the weakest in the franchise, although I've come to love it. The shoulder pads, dreadful. However, in Halloween 4, we get the introduction of Daniel Harris. Outstanding character. One of the most iconic characters behind Jamie Lee Curtis in this entire franchise, in my opinion. So good that she comes back for the remake to play a completely different character and completely nails it again in those movies. She is brilliant. We've also got the return of the original Dr. Loomis, played by the incredible. My mind has gone blank. Why am I doing this when I'm trying to prove a point?
Dr. Loomis. Donald.
Yes, Donald Pleasant.
There you go.
Donald Pleasant, who is probably the most eccentric, elevated character I have seen over the space of 2 movies, which he then repeats again with his transition from Halloween 4 to Halloween 5. He goes full fucking mental in that movie, which is fantastic.
He's mental in Halloween 4 though, because there's a scene. It's one of my few scenes I really enjoy where he grabs hold of Jamie and shakes the life out of her, going, "Tell me where he is." And I'm going, "Man, that's like a little girl. Like, why are you banging her head off the bed? Like, tell me where he is."
He's nuts, man. He's nuts. And every single movie he's in, he just gets more crazy and crazier as the films go on. Like, he's a bit nuts in the first one and a bit eccentric, but then in Halloween 2, he's fucking wild, man. In Halloween 4, this dude is a loose cannon and putting little girls in situations they should not be put in at any point. And then in number 5, that dude is just, he needs sectioning alongside Michael Myers, personally, in my opinion. He's fucking crazy. You also get the introduction of Sheriff Mika, which is a fucking brilliant character. His daughter. Oh, why am I losing? I love this movie. I've seen it a million times and my mind's gone blank on names. His daughter with the amazing boobs. Brilliant. You've got Brady. Brady's the love him to hate him kind of character where he's. Do you know what? I like Brady, and I like Brady for a lot of different reasons because he's your stereotypical jock throughout this entirety of this movie.
Yeah.
And even though you're not supposed to like him, there's certain elements of him that you agree with the decisions he's made throughout. So I kind of am Team Brady in a sense throughout Halloween 4. You also get Wade. Wade gets a brief introduction at the beginning and has one of the best lines in the movie where the girl behind the counter says, "Fuck off, Wade." Classic. Love it. Love this movie unconditionally. And then, of course, I've just had a name in my mind and now it's completely gone. Jamie's sister.
I'm not going to help you. I want to beat
Dude,
you.
why can I? What? Dude, I watched this movie yesterday and probably like 4 times already this year.
You've seen this movie more than anyone else on the planet, and I am convinced of that.
Why am I doing this?
I don't know, but this is the sister who's like tries to help her.
Rachel. Yeah. I don't know why did I struggle so much with that. Rachel is one of my favorite characters in the Halloween franchise. They did her dirty in Halloween 5, and I'll never forgive that movie for doing so. She's fantastic in this movie. She's a guardian for Jamie. She sacrifices herself in numerous times throughout. I think overall characters across the whole of the Halloween franchise, I don't think they come any stronger than what they are in Halloween 4. I think the writing side of this movie does an impeccable job of not only adding certain levels of layers to the characters, but the extended character development that all of them get throughout, I think, is just done to perfection. There isn't really a bad character in this movie. And I didn't even mention the hillbillies, and they are fucking comedy gold throughout Halloween 4.
Okay. I'm going to admit, beyond Freddy, it's pretty slim on the ground in regards to characters. Also, I thought. However, hold my beer, please.
Don't even try. There is no way you can win me on this.
We have the OG Jamie Lee Curtis reprising her role as Laurie Strode. Did Halloween 4 have that? I think not. We have one of the biggest. We have one of the biggest names in 90s rap, Busta Rhymes. Did Halloween 4 have that? I think
it didn't
not.
need it. It certainly fucking didn't need it.
We also have, well, that's about it. But I think those two are really strong contenders. I'll be honest.
That is the weakest piss poor argument I've ever heard in my life. There's no way you are winning this category. See, if I was going to do this and I was going to pick characters that I feel should be strong contenders, it would be the guy from the asylum in the original opening movie sequence, where he's listing onto serial killers and he's talking about Ted Bundy, and then Michael Myers gives him his knife at the end. He's the best character in that movie, and he's done within 30 seconds. This movie's shite.
I think the problem with the characters in this is there is, especially when you get to the found footage elements in the house and they introduce all of these basically teen Myers fodder, there are so many of them and they do it so rapidly. I'll be honest, I don't remember a single person's name from this movie because they're in it. They have a couple of lines of dialogue. Michael takes them out. They're gone. On to the next. Then you've also got like all these other people who are watching the stream. There's a party with about fucking 700 people at it. And I couldn't tell you a single one of their names. Like the only characters that really matter to me is Freddie and Laurie at the beginning, and obviously Michael. But Michael's in every Halloween movie, so I can't use him as a selling point.
See, the thing is, though, there's some cool characters in Halloween Resurrection. They're just underutilized. You've got Katie Sackhoff, which is every nerd's wet dream. As irritating as she is in this movie, that's due to the writing, not necessarily her as an actress, because she's fantastic and we all love Katie Sackhoff, but she is massively underutilized in this film. I mean, you've got Decker as well, the guy who's behind the Blackberry. He's a really cool character, but again, he's sidelined throughout most of this movie because he's only relevant to helping her in the closing act. And it's like, you spend so much time setting up this character and the relationship between the two of them, and it never pays off. It's a complete waste. The character of Freddy, as you've mentioned already, as a gimmick, he's funny and he's relevant to the time of the movie, which was the 90s. But when you watch this movie back today, I was so frustrated by his attempts at recreating Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners. Like, I didn't even find it funny. He's talking to himself when I don't even know the main character's name. I hate this movie so much. When she comes to the hotel room, she's like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for reassuring me." When she's about to leave, and he's like, "No, you can't do this. You know, stay." And then he has this cheesy little conversation with him. He's like, "Ooh, Freddie, you still got it, man. You know how to talk to ladies." And then he goes back to watching Bruce Lee movies. I'm like, "You dick."
Well, I think I'm going to have to concede this round, as frustrating as that is. And because I've conceded a round and we're about halfway through, we'll take a break because I need time to reset and maybe look at my notes for the next category.
I think shit like this is funny because there is that vibe, though. Like, there are people on the internet that, like, unironically are like, you want to solve the homeless problem? Just kill them all. Like, they genuinely, like, consider that a solution.
Welcome to Reddit.
Under the Floorboards podcast, hosted by John and Eric, is a horror movie review podcast leaning in hard on comedy delivery. Their show is super fun and super easy to get into. You will binge this show.
Lennon's role in the Beatles was central to the band's identity and success.
But let's not forget that McCartney is just a relentless workhorse.
Between the Facts is brought to you by Phil and Dan of Mondo Street Social Club and dives into the world of true crime, conspiracies and controversial cases. If it is true crime or true crime adjacent, you can guarantee it's going to appear here. These and many other shows are members of the You Run Podcast Network, available at yourunpodcast.com, your home of entertainment. That's right, we are the home of entertainment, yourunpodcast.com. There you'll find all of the other fabulous network members, including the two you just heard. There is so much entertainment there for everyone, whether you like true crime or TV series analysis or film analysis. Like, we've got a bit of everything, so go and check that out. While you're there, check out our shop, all the links to our socials and everything else. And now it's that wonderful time of the day. He's kind of ready. He's getting his notes up. It's Mark. Recommended account of the week. There you go.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I had it all set, and then when I clicked on it, it just disappeared. So I had to go back and find it again. So this week's recommended account of the week is Teddy's Nightmares 1984, or Nikki Daly, however you want to type that in onto Instagram, you can do. This account it's an account where they make horror memorabilia, but it's not like horror memorabilia you would normally get. It's Teddy's is the basic concept. It's Teddy's, but you buy a teddy, she modifies them, she'll put like Jason masks on them, or she'll turn them into Sam from
Cool.
the Trick or Treat, or she'll get one and she'll do a ghost face one where she'll stitch on like a ghost face mask. This stuff's really, really cool, and I see like a lot of horror merchandise coming out. B&M in England is like it's like the dumping ground for stuff like this. There's ones that I've seen recently where they're like this knitted little, it's basically like a toy, but it's like a knitted plastic toy representing like horror characters. I've seen people post ones of like Leatherface and things like that. I went to B&M, I'd seen a few of these, and I was like, they're stupid. I've also seen ones where people have turned like bath ducks into horror characters. Stupid. I've seen ones where Funko Pops. Don't even get me started on Funko Pops, because I just think they're fucking stupid. I'm sorry if you collect Funko Pops, but that is the biggest marketing cash grab I've ever seen in my entire life. And it pisses me off when I see genuinely creative people making genuinely incredible art such as this that I would personally have in my collection and in my room. So support local, support the little guy. Go and check out Teddy's Nightmares 1984. Look at their stuff. It's incredible. She does reels and shows you how she makes them and what she's done, ideas she's got going forward for new projects. Really, really good stuff. Go buy it. Go support it. Let's help the little guy in the community. And I think this is a great place to start. And as always, let know the You-Run podcast sent you there.
That's awesome. I'm going to see if we can get a teddy bear version of you and me.
I don't know if she makes people or not, but still cool. There's like a Friday the 13th one. There's like nightmare ones. There's Terrifier ones. Honestly, they're really, really clever stuff. I like them a lot. But yeah, it's all commission stuff. So go place your order, pick what you want, and she'll make it for you, and it's incredible.
Okay. I think I've hit you with enough Buster Rhymes drops now, so let's go into category 4.
See, that's a nice soundbite.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? This category is kills. And because there are so many kills in both of these movies, I wanted to restrict it a little bit. I wanted to rein you in before you go through every single kill. So you're only allowed to pick 2 kills from the franchise, of 2 kills from your movie. And as you went first last time, I'm going first this time.
Good, because that gives me time to think, because there is a lot I want to choose here.
So my 2 kills is Laurie Strode's death, firstly. So Michael finally achieving what he's been trying to do for God knows how many films is super satisfying for me, especially as Jamie Lee Curtis did not want to do this movie. She was like, I don't want to do it. I'm not want to be involved. No. I hate it. It's the worst thing I've ever done. And I love the fact that she was contractually obliged. And she openly shared these thoughts with the director and the cast and the writers. And the writers and the director went, well, she doesn't want to be in it. Why don't we just make it so she can't be in any fucking more and milk this franchise for money? So tell you what, let's kill her in the opening scene. Let's make her look weak and frightened and mental. And then let's throw her off a roof to her death. And like, I really like it because it really is a fuck you. We'll make it so you can never come back. It didn't work out for him because she did. But I like the fact they just went, look, you don't want to be involved. You're meant to be here. We're going to use you in the most ridiculous way ever and kill you. And I like
the thing is, I actually think that was Jamie Lee Curtis's decision. She said, kill me off. Not
kill me off.
Kill me in the opening. I'll come back and I'll film the opening for you. But that's about as far as I'm willing to go.
Yeah,
I think is how it went down.
Yeah, and then she all of a sudden realised she wasn't getting many film roles and went back cap in hand to the Halloween franchise. Any way we could get me back? Because I'm like a little bit short on cash now. I could do with another like trilogy. Fuck Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, do you know what, man? Like, I have to agree with you. I don't personally like her as a person. There's a lot of stuff that I see she puts on social media and things like that, and I'm like, oh man, you are literally just a vessel
Leech.
for
Leech.
what you think should be right with the world while you're sat in your
Yeah.
ivory tower. Do you know? I'm like, fuck you.
And
Like,
also,
she showcases and posts videos of like starving children in Africa, and she's like, help the children while she's sat there in a pair of Gucci trainers. I'm like, fuck you, bitch, man. Like, I get your message, I get what you're saying, but like, practice what you preach, and just do
yeah.
a little bit more yourself. And then that whole incident where she was just absolutely awful to Scout Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris at a convention meeting one time. Oh no, it was a screening for one of their
Yeah.
latest Halloween movies.
It was.
I was like, she might look all nicey nice, but I don't think deep down she actually is. I'm not a personal fan of her outside of this franchise, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and I think she is just a leech off of horror. She knows it's a cash cow for her. She knows
She
someone
even said
sticks
she didn't
Jamie.
like it.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. But like, don't get me wrong. You're an actor. You don't have to like everything you've been in, but at least show some appreciation for what got you to where you are. And she doesn't. So yeah, fuck
You
her.
say that though, but as an artist, you're like, she's saying, I don't like horror. So you're basically saying you're selling out because that's what's paying you to give you a career. You don't like it, but
Yeah.
you're doing it, which I get. I don't like my job some days, but I do it because I need to get paid. But when you're on such a pedestal to the fans and to the people, and you're turning around and saying, I think these movies are shit, I'll never watch them, but hey, I'll take the check.
Yeah, it'd be like someone coming to us offering us loads of money to review romantic comedies. I'm not a big romantic comedy guy. I would do it for the money without question. But I would make sure that when people spoke to me and stuff, I wouldn't say I loved it, but I would at least show it the respect that it deserved. The fact that this is what made me. I wouldn't shit all over it. I just don't think that's
The
the right
thing
thing
is,
to do.
I used to have that opinion, man, but I'm coming round to the romantic comedies these days. It's something that me and my wife can watch together and sort of enjoy, especially if it's like a good comedy one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can get very invested in them quite easily.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shared way too much then.
You
I'm
did.
a hard
It
ass
was
horror fan and listen to heavy metal music. I don't watch romantic comedies at all.
The second death I'm picking is the death of Michael Myers, and I know this is going to wind you up, which is one of the reasons I picked it. Michael Myers' death in this movie is fucking epic. There is a full ass kung fu fight, and he knocks Freddy down to the floor. And how do you take out Michael Myers? You grab the mains cable from an electric box and you stick it in his testicles, sending him careering back into electrical cables and then burning the house and him down. Burn, motherfucker, burn.
Happy Halloween, fuckface!
This is the most fucking Animaniacs bullshit I've ever seen in my entire life. Not only does he knock him back into cables, he then sticks the cable cord that he has in a pool of blood like it's water and will conduct electricity to kill Michael Myers.
Yeah.
The scene
Nothing wrong with
prior to this, the lead final girl chucks a chainsaw at him, which bounces off his shoulder. Literally in the scene, you see it happen on screen. It bounces off his shoulder and he's just stood there like, oh, what the fuck? The next shot, you turn around, he's knocked out on the floor. I'm like, seriously, your editing team did not piece together that did nothing to him, but now you're trying to explain to me that he's knocked out on the floor. And the final girl is literally trapped under a fucking microphone and she can't get up off the floor. I'm like, what is going on here? She has like 3 cables on her leg and she's claiming she's trapped. I'm like, this is bullshit. Dude, I'm not even going to go into the kill of Michael Myers because it's just fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? Are you done? Are you done? Is that the best you've got for this franchise?
Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, the 2 OGs of the franchise, both of their deaths happen in this movie. Don't happen in any other movie. I win. Let's move on.
Right. Okay. As we all know, Halloween 4 is filled to the brim with glorious kills. And I could go down the typical route of using Michael Myers' death at the end of that, where he gets shot 25 times into a tunnel, and then later in Halloween 5 gets chucked with dynamite, which he swims through and survives because he's a guy. Or I could even go down the route of picking a classic character such as Bucky, who gets chucked onto an electrical circuit and kills the entire town's electrical supply. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with something more creative. And I'm going to go with the paramedic who gets killed at the beginning of the movie, who gets his thumb stuck through his forehead. Michael Myers sticks his thumb through the paramedic's forehead, which has incredible practical effects. And it
he's
shows
so
the sheer
grabby.
power that this man has.
He's so grabby in this movie. He's like sex pest level of grab people in this movie.
Man, there's like 10 minutes left of the movie before he even picks up an iconic butcher knife. He's the most creative he has ever been in the entire franchise in Halloween 4. And I think I love how it showcases how strong he is, that he can stick his thumb through the skull of another human being, killing them there, then dead. And I think, like I said, I think the practical effects in that are really, really cool and really, really clever, especially for the era that film came out in 1998. I think that is one of the highlights of the movie. I'm really torn with where to go next, but I think I would like to pick the police station massacre, but we don't actually see that on screen. We only see the aftermath of it, and the aftermath's really cool. I wish they'd have had the budget for the movie to show Michael Myers just going full John Wick in that police station, just executing coppers left, right, and center. But the next one I'm going to go for is Sheriff Meeker's daughter, where she gets a shotgun through the chest, pinning her to a wall in homage to Bob's death from the original Halloween movie. I think it's a really, really creative kill, because you think there and then in that moment he's going to go full out the clown and use a shotgun to shoot her. But instead, he just rams it through her chest, lifts her into the air, and pins her to the wall. And I'm like, yeah,
the fact he's got a firearm that could blow her head off, and he's like, oh, look, it's a blunt knife. Let me stab her with it.
So they're mine too. Paramedic from the beginning, Sheriff Meeker's daughter to the wall.
Do you know what? I'm gonna have to concede, because both of those kills are fabulous, especially I'm gonna use the shotgun as a knife kill.
Yes.
It's really close. I'm on 120 points and you're on 100. I think we let the listeners wade in before we go into the final round to the decider.
That's not fair, man.
So
I don't trust them. I don't trust them enough, because most of the time they just go against me to piss me off.
So what we're going to do is every listener interaction that goes in your favor, you'll achieve 10 points. So every single person who agrees with you, you get 10 points. Every listener who agrees with me, I get 10 points.
Right. Oh, this is making me really nervous. Do we both have to agree on this decision before we move on?
No. These are the listeners have made their mind up. There is no debate in these. So we put some polls out on Instagram. We asked, firstly, which film do you prefer? Real simple question. And this was a Halloween Resurrection landslide for fucking ages. I know when you voted on it, it was like 87% for Resurrection. And you messaged me like, what the fuck is wrong with people? It didn't end like that, though. It ended with 42% for Resurrection. So you won that. So you now have 10 points.
Yes.
Also asked people what the better mask was. And this was a landslide in my favour with 76% of the votes. The better mask is in Resurrection. That's 10 points.
To be fair, mate, if that had been a category, I would have conceded. I've mentioned numerous times we've covered various Halloween movies, and I always stipulate that I think the mask in Resurrections is one of the better of the franchise. I do think it's great. I don't particularly like the eyebrows, and it looks really, really fucking wonky. Do you know that scene at the beginning when he goes after Laurie Strode? And he headbutts the door before he fully just walks through it like something out of Looney Tunes. It looks weird there, I'll be honest with you. But I do quite like the mask in Resurrection. So I think I would have probably conceded on that, regardless of public opinion, I think.
We also polled, in which film did Michael Myers have the better death? The one where he's shot 100 times and falls down a hole, or where he's electrocuted in the testicles. And that is another win for Resurrection, with 61% of the vote saying Myers' demise was better in Resurrection.
No, you're setting this up now. You're setting this up now for yourself. That's not fair. That's like an extra 20 points to you. I'm already losing.
Yeah, so I'm now on 140 and you're on 110. I'm only 30 points ahead. You could easily pull that back. We also put up two things where we had a picture of a character, and we just asked to share your thoughts about the character. So the first one we had was Freddie Harris, the wonderful Freddie Harris. Lumberjay Reviews simply replied, crickets. just crickets chirping. So
Yeah,
that's 10 points for you.
Well done, Jay. I knew you had my back.
Dave B movies, fun but annoying. So he went with fun, which would have given me the point, and then he went with annoying, which would have given you the point. So we get no points. Thanks, Dave.
Right,
Thanks
okay.
for being so indecisive.
Cheers for nothing, Dave.
AMPFX Studios simply went with fucking spaz.
Oh, brilliant.
I think that's another 10 points for you. I don't think there's much.
I'll take that.
We done the same for Daniel Harris's character, who is Jamie. Can never think of her surname. Jamie
Lloyd.
Jamie Lloyd. Skellington fan. She was in the movie because loads of question marks. So that's a 10
that's
point.
Not fair.
That's a 10 points for me on that one. Tales Point Horror Book Club went simply with legend.
Yes.
So
I like
another
her.
10
Her
for you.
account's great as well. If you haven't checked out Tales Point Horror Book Club,
Really
she
good.
collects point horror books, but she does a lot of lives where they review movies as well. She doesn't just collect the books; they do dissect a lot of horror movies in their live streams. Really cool account. Go check them out.
And then finally, we've got Dissect That Film with I like her in this one. They did do a dirty in 5 though, which 100% they did. So again, another 10 points for you. So where does that leave us now? So you were on 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. You're on 140 points. I was on 120. I'm now on 130. No, hold on. 40, 50. Yeah, so I'm on 150. You're on 130.
Right. How many categories we got left? It's making me nervous.
We've got one category left. We're going to do some voicemails, and then we've got some stuff from TikTok, and then we'll do the final category and see who comes out of this on top. So we've got a couple of voicemails. They're not related to what we're doing now, but they're still voicemails. So here we go.
Is Timothy Chalamet, not Chamalay, not Shamalama Ding Dong. Scott, learn how to talk. Timothy Chalamet. Okay, bye.
Wow, that was really brief for Heather.
Yeah, so it's Timothy Shamalamalam.
Yes, Timothy Shamontane.
Shamontame. We'll just go with that. It's Timothy Shamontame. Should he ever be in a horror movie, he will forever be known as that. And we got another one. This one comes in from Becky.
Hey guys, I've just finished the Heretic episode. Great episode, but just need to say I have a vagina and I only know Arnie as Arnie. So I agree with Mark. I don't know whether it's a UK thing, but it's definitely not a man-woman thing. Because if somebody said to me, do you want to watch an Arnold film? I'd probably have to think about it for a moment and be like, who's Arnold? Until I realised, definitely Arnie all the way. And no offence to Mary, Lady Crisis, we love you.
Right. So I was on a bit of a rage path last week. I kind of lost my mind. I got very drunk. I had some personal shit going on, and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to be a dickhead this episode. I'm going to get really drunk and just annoy the shit out of Scott, which I think I succeeded in very well.
Oh, you definitely did.
I actually knew that I was annoying you, and I was like, I had to message you the next day and be like, sorry, dude. But to be fair, in my defense, I pre-warned you coming in. I was like, dude, I'm going to be hard work tonight. I'm sorry. Just know this is how it's going to play out.
Yeah.
That being the case, I can't remember much of that episode, which brings into question why Beck felt the need to open up with, I have a vagina.
This is where Lady Crisis messaged in and said that she didn't know it was that Arnie was a name for Arnold Schwarzenegger. She wasn't sure who it was. And then
I get that. I just don't understand why it was I have a vagina stick.
Well, we got a message from Eric that said, I think it's a bro thing. And then we joked and said, yes, cock and balls things. I'll be honest, when I played that, I was sat with Lisa and I put on the message, went, hi guys, just so you know, I have a vagina. And like Lisa looked at me like, what's that? It's not very often I have women message me, go, excuse me, just see, keep it clear. I have a vagina, thank you. I'm like, fuck.
Hey, Colonel Cockring, we know what you're into, man. I don't question anything outside of this room.
So about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, when TikTok was about to face the ban, when they were about to be shut down, which has now been sort of held off by Mr. Trump.
Has
when
that
they
not
were
happened
about
now? Is that not? Are they still going?
there's an executive order that's given them 75 days to negotiate the sale of TikTok to a US company. Whether it will happen or not, I don't know. But when the platform was going down, I took the decision that no one on TikTok is going to give a fuck about what they say. So I put it out to everyone that we were doing this episode. And I said, all I want you to do is take 60 seconds, pick one of these movies, either Halloween 4, Halloween Resurrection, and let loose. Say all the horrible, nasty things you want to do about that movie. And they did not disappoint us. TikTok come in hard this week. We got 4. We're going to start with this one.
Please be Chunky Larry. Please be Chunky Larry this week.
Resurrection is terrible. Number 1, disrespectful treatment of Laurie Strode. They slapped us in the face, killed her off in the first 15 minutes. Terrible decision. Number 2, casting Busta Rhymes and his over-the-top acting. Absolutely unbearable. Number 3, the ridiculous reality TV plot with the shaky Blair Witch cameras. Number 4, Michael Myers felt like a background character. He really took a backseat to the whole reality TV thing. 5, overuse of the technology. We get it. Webcams, shaky cams, it was a thing. We were all there for early internet culture. We didn't have to be reminded. Number 6, the characters were unlikable or extremely shallow. I didn't give a damn about none of them. Number 7, where was the suspense and atmosphere? Nowhere to be found in this movie. Number 8, the kills were very lazy and uninspired. Number 9, the writing and the dialogue was atrocious. And number 10, it ruined the franchise's legacy because it should have stopped at H2O.
Thanks, Jack Black, from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
That's the movie Ginger. He's a super cool review account. But he sits firmly on your side. Like, he systematically pulled it apart limb from limb. So that's another 10 points for you.
Cheers, my man. I appreciate it.
Up next.
Preface this video with love what you love, hate what you hate. We do not judge people for the horror movies that they like or dislike. That being said, Halloween Resurrection is a cash grab. It's the definition of cash grab. It's all style, no substance. The premise is actually kind of badass. But that execution, no. You bring back Laurie Strode just to flatline her in the first 10 minutes of the film, which has no real significance to the story at all. But you get to say that Laurie Strode's in it, and you get to hook your audience. Busta Rhymes, kung fu fighting. Amateur karate and bad wiring defeated the boogeyman. There's a handful of fake outs in this movie that anyone can see coming 1,000 miles away. It's just not very good, in my opinion.
Yes, my man.
Yeah,
so the thing is about that, like Halloween Resurrection, not only is Jamie Lee Curtis, she gets top billing on the poster as well.
Yeah, she does.
Which is wild.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, that's Arlie and Psycho Billy. Yeah, thanks, Arlie, for your support. Yeah. Next.
Right, quickly. Halloween 4 versus Halloween Resurrection. See, Halloween 4 is great. Michael Myers seems a bit campy and less scary in this, even though the kills are extremely brutal and still awesome. So, yeah, you can't really knock that at all. Now, Resurrection. Resurrection is fresh, it's new, it's done something different. My recent love of found footage is really brought home in this, and probably to the point I've never really noticed it before because I wasn't a fan of found footage, but the entire setup for the house and the internet is really of the time, and as much as they were annoying, they were very much of the time. So for me, Halloween Resurrection does beat 4.
Dude, What have you done? Have you offered him a pair of underpants with your face on for him to say that shit?
No, it's 10 points for me. Just accepting that's Dave B. Movie's
Bullshit.
wonderful review account. Finally, I've saved this one till last because I knew Mark would be incredibly excited. He even prefaced it going, please be this person.
Yes.
Larry
I
waded
hope
in.
he's team me. I hope he's on my side. Otherwise, I'm in for a shitstorm of a fucking monologue here.
I'll be honest. Well, I made sure they only had 60 seconds, which made this even funnier when people are like, "Oh man, I've got so much to say." I got messages from people going, "I've got so much to say, but I haven't got enough time." I'm like, well, tough. So here is what the incredible Creature Pod Chunky Larry had to say about the movie he dislikes.
Lucky I only get 60 seconds. How the fuck are you gonna sit here with your whole chest and say that Halloween Resurrection's a good movie? Scott, if we were close, I would pee on you right now. Halloween Resurrection makes Halloween 4 look like Halloween 1. The fucking audacity and gall for you to sit on Al Gore's internet and spout bullshit. That's it. I'm gonna find out where you live. Then I'm gonna take a big old dump in a package. Then I'm gonna take it to my local UPS store, have that motherfucker weighed, get it fucking overnight delivery sent to your house, and then I'm gonna have the delivery driver light it on fire. You see what you did? You see what you fucking did? By the way, does anybody have a Chinese phone number so I can get onto Red Note? Anywho, Saitian.
I love it. Absolute hero. Yes, I don't care now if you win on points on this episode. That is enough for me. In fact, send me that soundbite. I want to put that as my ringtone.
Larry absolutely destroyed me. Larry's great. A huge thank you to everyone who got involved on this episode. I know everyone has their opinions and everyone waded in a very polite and respectful way, and we had Larry. It's literally too close to call. There's 10 points. There's 10
Did
points.
I get a point per? Did I get a point per voice note from that?
You did. So there's now 10 points separating us. I am 10 points ahead of you. I'm going to do some quick facts just to drag out this final round a little bit longer. We'll do some Halloween 4 facts. Daniel Harris was a little bit scared of Michael Myers, so George P. Wilbur would lift his mask as soon as they called cut to remind her that it was just him and that he wasn't going to hurt her, which is quite sweet.
Sweet.
John Carpenter wrote a treatment for Halloween 4, which I never knew, and we've covered Halloween 4, and we never found this before, where he was going to take a ghostly approach to this. He was going to give Myers some supernatural shit in his persona. When he pitched it to the studios, they went, no, we just want him to stab people. Thanks, though.
Yeah. I don't know the level of involvement in his ideas, what then transitioned into the novel. I know we touched on the novel when we covered Halloween 4 before.
Yeah.
Died in facts, where he turns into like a 40-foot giant
Godzilla.
Michael Myers and absorbs the bullets like the fucking nuclear energy, and it makes him grow into a giant. I don't know if that was one of his ideas. I have to feel like that was an idea that John Carpenter had presented, and the guy who was writing the novel before the movie came out was like, yeah, that's fucking cool. I'm just going to roll with that, and included it. I still haven't read the novelization of Halloween 4, so I don't know the facts of whether that is actually true or not, if that is in the story. If anybody has a copy of it, let me know if you've read it and if it is actually true. I can buy like an ebook version of it, but I'm a physical guy. I do want to get all the novels in my collection.
You're a hoarder.
I'm a hoarder. Did you know that the original book, like the original novelization, is like something like, I've seen them go fairly cheap for £200, which I know is extortionate for a book, but like the general consensus is like this original book goes for like £600 to £700 on a like an excellent condition version.
Wow.
It's madness. I mean, people pay less than that for like the first edition Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien.
That's insane. Final fact for Halloween 4. Mustafa Akkad was the film's executive producer. He took control of Halloween after he bought the rights. And he continued to produce Halloween films right up until 2002, which, that's when he relinquished his control.
His son
Sad.
has it now, though. He hasn't relinquished control. He just
He,
died.
yeah, exactly that. He died.
he just died, and now his son has the rights. His son is the executive producer for all the upcoming Gordon Green ones that we've just seen, and going
The
forward,
series
like
that's
he owns the rights to it, so he's been the one who's shipping it off to Miramax and stuff for the TV series that's coming out possibly next year, I believe.
Yeah. Resurrection. Jamie Lee Curtis appears on the cover, as Mark just showed us. However, she had long hair in the movie, and what they done is they used the exact same photograph that's on the Halloween H2O cover.
In fact, I can show you how exact it is because there they are. Bosh. There's that Halloween H2O. Oh, look, let's just flip the photo around. She's wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, fabulous.
It's the same photo.
Halloween Resurrection has done something no other movie's ever done, though. It is the only movie to establish Michael Myers' birthday as the 19th of October, 1957.
Sorry, say that again.
The 19th of October, 1957
is
Michael Myers' birthday.
I was putting the tapes away.
That's Michael Myers' birthday. It's the only film to actually give us his actual birthday.
No, because when I was writing the quiz and I was doing my research, they fuck it up. I think they do tell. I'm sure they fuck it up because the second one, like in the second movie, the continuity changes and he's like 2 or 3 years older than he actually is, and they write it into the movie. I'm sure.
Okay. Well, in this one, they say he's born in 1957 on the 19th of October. And the final fact of this is Freddie Harris's surname is Harris as a nod to Danielle Harris, because the producers and Busta Rhymes really liked Jamie Lloyd and Danielle Harris's performance in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
And is he called Freddy as a nod to Freddy Krueger?
Apparently not.
That's the case.
Apparently not. I guess we've dragged it out long enough. Let's do the final category. This is do or die now. It's either you or it's me. And this is a hard category to win. This is almost like you know how we do roundups each week?
Yeah.
This is almost like a roundup because this is quality of story.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Fine.
And this is your turn to go first. So yeah.
Right. So in terms of quality of story,
hold on. Just quickly before you start.
Hey, let's go! I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away, but no.
Okay, you can do it now.
Annoyingly, I actually like Busta Rhymes as an artist, and I think he has some fucking bangers. Break Your Neck is the anthem of my 90s. So, lost my train of thought again. You have a habit of doing that to me when it comes to the roundup segment of
click, 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 click.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Fuck off, man. Can I do it? Can I do my bit now?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do it. My hands are up here. I'm not gonna touch anything.
Right, keep your hands where I can see them.
Yeah.
Right. So for me personally, I think that Halloween 4, in terms of quality of story, is perfectly executed in terms of the resurrection of Michael Myers. It introduces the fact of where he's been from Halloween 2 to Halloween 4, with the introduction of the guy who is one of the best characters in Halloween 4. At the beginning, the psych ward is like, hell, you don't even know what hell is. I can't remember the line, but that's he's a dude. He's a dude. I like him. He gives a perfect exposition of the story, explains where Michael's been. Then not only that, we then have this whole introduction of, even though it doesn't explicitly say it, it's almost like we know that he's following a bloodline by this point because he's going after Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter.
Yeah,
which is again is very well set up. They do a good job of explaining to us that after the death of Michael Myers in the second one, she falls into alcoholism and drugs, and that's when she had a child out of wedlock, and that was Jamie Lloyd. She went into foster care, a la the bloodline that he's now seeking. She died in a car crash. Perfect. It's all done really briefly, and it's very well executed to the point where it's digestible enough for the audience to pick up a new story, a new timeline, without fixating on the past. I think in terms of how the movie progresses, with the characters that are introduced, such as Rachel, the family, Brady, Sheriff Meeker, Donald Pleasance's return due to the escape of Michael Myers. These are all key elements that have continued on from the original first two movies that bring the audience back, but also expand upon the story that we've come to love and come to know and want more further exploration on. In terms of actual exciting writing development, I don't think, other than the character progression, the introduction of the new timeline flawlessly executed, the story does play out verbatim. It is a by the numbers slasher. There isn't an awful lot new to it, but in terms of how he gets from point A to point B throughout the movie, with killing the power, in terms of taking out Bucky, so the town is basically gridlocked. There is no phone calls in and out from this point. Everybody's isolated and confined. I think that adds a more eerie element and a more sort of isolated idea to the story than introducing technology the way that Halloween Resurrection does. And not only that, but it keeps the story very timeless. I think Halloween Resurrection is a very outdated story with the introduction of modern day technology at the time. Whereas Halloween 4, you can still watch today. It still feels relevant. It doesn't feel outdated. It's not worn. It's not tired. So I think in terms of the actual story, I think it's timeless. I think it's perfectly executed in terms of continuing the franchise, and it doesn't sour the taste of what's come before it. It only expands on it and grows it and cements the world that we are engrossed in.
Okay. Well, before I start mine,
on a scale from 1 to 10, my friend, you're fucked.
No way.
This is one of the best story concepts in the entire franchise.
Oh, you can't lie your way through the closing argument.
No, much like Halloween before it and Halloween Ends after it, this movie took chances and tried to break that tired old Myers Chase person formula. It tried to attract a new younger audience by adding found footage elements that were popular at the time, brought in the super popular rapper to try and bring in that audience as well. And it made bold choices like killing a beloved final girl in the opening act of the movie. It has a great storyline from Laurie's death right the way up to the conclusion of the film, adding elements of streaming to the world, which has since been replicated hundreds of times by movies like Spree and Deadstream and Stream in 2024. So, for example, the setup of this house, you can play it alongside the movie Deadstream. The way they set up the cameras, with the camera being held up and you're seeing through the camera as he's setting the camera up and duct taping it, is exactly the fucking same.
Do you realize how offensive you're being right now comparing this movie to Deadstream?
I love Deadstream and I love this.
Yeah, well, so show some respect on Deadstream's name.
There is no denying the concept of this movie is fantastic. To put Michael Myers in a environment where he's being streamed to the world. They've done exactly the same with Stream last year, and Stream was a really successful movie, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, because it had elements of this. I love this movie. I don't think there is enough appreciation for it, and I think there's a lot of hate for it because, like Halloween 3 and like Halloween Ends, it made choices that the ingrained hierarchy of Halloween fans who just want Myers with a knife mindlessly chasing people down the streets of Haddonfield didn't like it.
Whoa. You can't just start pulling on emotional heartstrings and saying why you love the movie. That's not the contents of the category. If I could have done that, I could have dropped bombs for at least 45 minutes about why Halloween 4 is a fantastic movie.
The thing is
I'm staying confined to the rules, and you have to explain why the story, your love, not your personal love for the movie. That's not fair. You can't start drawing on heartstrings and saying, "Oh, I loved it because I watched this with my dad and he died." That's not fair. That's not what we're doing here. Stay to the rules of the game, man.
Hold on. Let me give myself some background music and I'll do like an X Factor thing.
Some violin music playing while you...
This movie means so much to me. It brought my love of found footage and my love of slashers together. And I don't think there's another movie that's done that. No, I'm going to stop that.
I don't think the music choice was the best one to back up your argument there.
It was all I had. It was that or this.
That would have probably worked better. And tonight, This Is Your Life.
Yeah. I really like the story. I like the found footage element. I like the fact that you've got this really corrupt kind of just guy who's just out for money in Freddy, and his arc of going from, I just want to make this stream popular so I can make a shitload of money, to I'm going to make sure I can save whoever I can, and I'm going to fuck up Michael Myers with Kung Fu as many times as I can. Twice, in fact, in the movie. I'm going to kick his ass, which no one else has done in the franchise.
For a reason.
Yeah, I love it. And as much as I love it, no, I don't want to lose.
You have to lose, because there is no way that you can categorically say that as a story from point A to point B, Halloween Resurrection is a better movie. It's a disastrous attempt to cling on to a franchise that had already outstayed its welcome, in my opinion. And I love the Halloween franchise, but it ended on such a satisfying conclusion with Halloween H2O. This is nothing more than an attempt to try and sell tickets, to try and make money, and it sacrificed all the integrity of every single movie that had come before it in order to continue doing so. You know it, I know it. This movie is shite.
Right. Well, before I concede,
Buster, straight Buster.
I'm going to concede this round. I'm going to hand the win of the trilogy of head-to-heads to Mark. And on that note, I have a confession. So I have hated Halloween 4 since the very first time I laid eyes on it. We have had ongoing battles and ongoing arguments, not just on the air, but off the air, almost daily for as long as we've known each other, about how much I hate this movie. And on this watch,
say it. Say it on air. Say it.
I had fun with it. Like, I still think it's garbage, but I actually enjoyed it. It was enjoyable garbage. And even though it's definitely not in my favorite Halloween movies, I kind of get it. I see why people enjoy it.
Oh, dude, man, it's the best of the franchise. I mean, not on an actual sort of fucking...
Not in the real world.
No, not by any stretch in comparison to movies like the original Halloween. I think Halloween 2 is actually even better than Halloween 4. I think Halloween H2O is better than Halloween 4. But the point is, as a movie that you can just put on, sit back, relax, and just enjoy for what it is, dude, it's my go-to every time. I will watch Halloween 4 over any movie in the franchise, because no matter my mood, whether I'm pissed off, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, I will always find enjoyment in this movie, and it brings me warmth and comfort. Halloween 4 is the soup of the Halloween franchise. It's all you need to make you feel warm on a cold winter's day. It is a beautiful movie, and it just touches all the right feels. I think it's perfect. It really is.
You've won. Stop milking it now. Yes, you won. You beat Halloween Resurrection. A huge thank you to everyone who got involved in this episode, and a huge thank you for listening to this episode as well. Thanks to Mark for taking me through Broken Spirit. I'm really smug though that my childish approach to that was, I'm gonna get a win on this episode one way or the other.
I should have saved it for the end. Oh, fuck's sake.
Next week, we are going to be back. We're going to continue our journey into 90s slashers, and we're going to do that with Child's Play 3.
Yes.
We've got a lot to say about Child's Play 3 as well. People don't know, but we have a lot. But until then, I'm going to have to do it because it's the last. I get the last shot. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Fuck off, man.
You want to die tonight?
The fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games